Welcome to On the Fence. Oh, stop.
Got him!
I hate you. Welcome to On the Fence, the show that's about helping you decide whether or not to spend your hard-earned money on the biggest and possibly best releases. Nick.
Hans!
The fence is in space today. Outer space.
We should get it back.
We're never going to see that fence again. That's 150 quid I'm never getting back. Nick, because we are playing Obsidian's The Outer Worlds.
Not The Outer Wilds, as I keep calling it.
Why would you call The Outer Wilds?
There's another game come out this year called The Outer Wilds.
Was there?
Yes.
Are you thinking? I'm thinking of like Wildlands.
No, there was another game came out, The Outer Wilds, came out on PC this year, and I keep accidentally calling it this Outer Wilds in conversation.
But Nick, that isn't this game.
Correct.
This is set in space.
So is The Outer Wilds.
Oh, that's awkward. I hope someone got sued. So this is a first-person RPG from the makers of Fallout, the New Vegas, and then the actual original Fallout series. Here's what's going to happen. You've heard it all before. We are going to play a little bit, talk over it, and then at the end I will give my opinion and Nick will give his as well, because he's played some of this too, over some gameplay footage. Are you ready to go, Nick?
Always.
So Nick, let's talk about just what the fuck this game is.
Hans, what is The Outer Worlds?
So as mentioned, this is made by the guys from Obsidian, so it is an RPG. If you're thinking of first-person Fallout games, it is similar in quite a lot of ways.
Hans, it is a first-person Fallout game. There is no similar about it.
Varies in a couple of ways, I think. Like, for example, pop-in textures. For example, like, it's not one big open world. It is more like a series of smaller hubs, which I think is actually really good because it adds for a lot more variety. I think it also means that they can be a bit more detail orientated and is also a bit more stable.
I think calling them open world is maybe a bit generous.
Do you think? I'm not saying that they're open world. It's more like I said they're hubs.
Like, because whenever someone says like, it's like multiple hubs, I think of The Witcher 3, which kind of had 4 or 5 like massive fucking areas. These are all very like self-contained and like you can like. From what I can tell, there's no reason to ever really go back to an area. Like, I haven't got to find a reason to go back to this area later on in the game.
Yeah. No, I think it's... You're right, they are not massive. But I would still say I think it is a much more sustainable and better choice for them. Because remember, Obsidian is a big company, but they're not a AAA company. I'm sure the budget behind this was nowhere near the budget for Fallout.
Yeah.
But I do think it adds a lot more variety to it. 100%. And then on top of that, you've got your usual. As you can see in my left-hand corner, there's my health. I have a slow down time option, which is kind of like VATS. I have a companion. The companion system in this is definitely a lot more thorough. You can actually command them orders. They have health. You can change their equipment and stuff like that. I really like the companion system in this.
I think I have 5 of the 6 companions I think so far now in my game, and I think they are all very well written. They all are unique, which I think is really nice. Like, there doesn't seem to be any overlap in like the actual type of characters that you actually recruit. Like, you have Parvati with you now, who's like very naive, probably the best way to put it. Like, she's never been off this world. She's still very in the company mindset. When compared to say someone like you have Felix, who's like more of a reprobate and kind of a renegade, who's like dreaming of being this big like space pirate type adventure and captain of his own ship one day.
Yeah, I didn't go the right way now. Go cross country in this ship, okay. And then in terms of gameplay, in terms of missions and stuff, it's exactly like Fallout. There's quest givers, you go do the quests, and there are choice and consequences to a lot of these quests. So the one I'm doing at the minute, I suppose actually there's a good chance to talk about story then. But so at the minute, I am on Edgewater,
Yep.
which is a main source of income is like tuna, pretty much is what it is.
They can tuna.
It's a tuna cannery. So the corporations, which are all these lovely things, all kind of are like the big. I suppose they're pretty much just politicians in the world, and then one of these companies owns this place, but. Sorry, just going to back it up. I apologize. Get up! Boom! Get fucked!
Not that. There we go.
Yeah,
so essentially, like, kind of the preamble to the game and the actual game taking place is kind of like companies have kind of become much more widespread and much more
powerful.
Yeah, so part like
business.
So the companies are actually the ones that are going out and colonizing these worlds with places like Edgewater and other ones you see across the like other planets you visit in the game, and they essentially each colony is like everyone here works for the same company. Everyone here is you live and die by the company. You're only living here because you work for this company, and you have one very specific purpose in this colony and with this company. So currently on Edgewater, everyone is kind of part of the company that's canning tuna, and some people are catching the tuna, some people are like working in the factories and all that. People are there as doctors to help people not die. And then kind of the story of Edgewater is that there is now a splinter group of people who have left the company and have just kind of formed their own society on the outskirts of the company, of like Edgewater itself. And yeah, the current mission Hans is on is he's essentially been tasked with the guy who runs Edgewater on behalf of the company to divert power from their botanical gardens to Edgewater to try and force them to come back.
Yeah, so because they have splintered off, they're not hitting their quotas pretty much of how much fake fish is being canned. Yeah, so that's kind of, and then say that then the choice that you make at the end of this dictates, which people you kind of side with. So that kind of brings me to my first criticism of the game is the choice and consequence system. Yes, it is nice that there are choice and consequences, but so far I have not really seen the consequences unfold. It's more like this happens. Hello? You?
This guy gives no shits.
His health bar disappeared as well. Did you notice that? So I thought he was dead. Yeah, so like, although there is choice consequence, that is nice. So like at the end of this, spoilers of this mission, you can pick up. Say you choose which place gets the power, and if you go with the deserters camp, they start to recolonize, and that's grand. And if you go with you start to recolonize, and then the cannery kind of shuts down because all the people, there's no power going to it, which is grand. But you never really see that, like, and again, maybe you see it later in the game, but at no point. I'm not saying a cutscene because obviously that's kind of not what the game's about, but man, you are just not wanting to die.
Yeah, so it's the game doesn't give you so the whole point of you doing this is because you're trying to get a power regulator for your ship so you can get off the planet. But the game never gives you a reason or quest, not to my knowledge anyway, so far that I'm in the game, to ever come back to this planet to see the consequence of your action. You get the power regulator, you make the choice, and then you kind of yeet out of there. So you never come back to see the actual effects of it. Like, I sided with Edgewater, and that was fine, it was cool, and for my knowledge everyone came back and everything was prosperous, but I don't really know that for a fact, it's just what I'm assuming happened.
Yeah, and say on my initial playthrough I sided with the deserters, and say the cannery closed down, and other than seeing maybe a couple of people walk over to because obviously you come back to the town to get the power regulator. Sorry. Well, it was an enemy.
Enemy is a loose definition right there.
And the Zelda and a couple of people walking over and kind of doing a shouting animation at the headquarters. Really, not that much happened.
Yeah.
Say realistically, what I would like is, say you have to come back here for some reason, and I suppose I could just activate the terminal. You come back and it's just deserted or something like that, or like, for your case where you sided with Edgewater, you come back and the town's in a lot better shape. You want to see that. Like we talked about it, you kind of maybe we're spoiled by the likes of the wrong button. The likes of what you call it, like the likes of Fable and like where like in Fable, when you were the king and you got the option, this coal mining company wants to excavate the land outside. Do you do it? And if you said yes, then literally when you're outside, the entire map had changed to being desolate and ripped apart and torn, and that's awesome. That's the sort of things you want to see.
Well, from chatting to fellow Basher Alex Proudfoot, he said he had sided with the deserters as well, and he was I don't know if he decided just to go back on his own volition or if he was told to go back, but he went back to the town and everyone turned hostile on him.
Oh, really?
So he literally had to go there and murder everyone in the town.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But I know, like you mentioned there, like we don't really see the content. That's not to say the choices aren't really well done. Like I really like the choice you make here because they frame it really well. Whereas, like, you automatically assume, company equal bad because they're a big company and they must be oppressing people. But before you decide, Parvati pulls you aside and is like, can we chat about this for a second? She sums it up really well, and the idea the guy who runs the company wants you to do this because he's desperate for these people to have a decent life and yes, it sucks working for the company and being driven to do everything, but people do have a good life in the city, and it's just the fact that it is now falling apart without the extra people needed. Whereas the head of the deserters just wants you to screw over the company out of spite. Yeah. It's not through any it's not desperation, it is pure spite, and she just wants to fuck people over.
Yeah, and I think the good way is though she is not portrayed as that way until after you make the decision. You kind of realize, oh fuck, she was kind of the bigger dick of the two.
Yeah. And because they make a big deal she's the only person that's managed to fertilize the ground and get things to grow. I don't know if Alex didn't know this because I don't think they tell you if you side with them. The secret ingredient for her growing things is dead bodies.
Oh Jesus!
She grinds up corpses and feeds it to the plants.
Oh fuck! Right? No, I didn't know that.
It's real fucked.
Yeah, that is pretty fucked. But I'm sure as well, though, there's maybe if you sneak around in there somewhere, and you see
there's probably
stuff, there's something that'll maybe open up a dialogue thing. So yes, just at the minute. So I went to the main generator, try to get started, but I have to hit 3 valves here, and the robots are on the fritz. Higgins is down there somewhere. He is some rando who has gone insane. We'll probably get to him in a second. But yeah, these are pretty much kind of your dungeons of the game, these buildings. Don't hit that Steam, yo.
Yeah, this is only on Epic. See what I did there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah!
God damn it. I keep healing myself and I don't need it.
God damn it.
Where am I? Stand.
So it's probably, we have mentioned the story, but there's also we've kind of isolated the story to just this planet. There is a greater story going on, and the idea is you were part of a colony ship called the Hope.
Yeah.
And essentially your ship broke down at some point while you were all in kind of hyperstasis, and the doctor who rescues you, Phineas something?
Yep, Phineas.
He literally picks one person at random, and it ends up
to be you.
Yeah, it happens to be your character, and the whole idea is you're allowed working with him, even though he's a wanted criminal, to kind of get the chemicals he needs to help
Get the other people out.
Yeah, starts defrosting the other people. Which he sends you down to this planet, and then this is kind of where the whole story kicks off.
And you get the ship that you get, you accidentally kill its original captain.
You're essentially you were sent down in an escape pod to be like, yeah, I've got a contact with you. He has a ship that'll help us get off. And literally the escape pod smooshes him straight away.
That is so funny. And that's something we've thought about. The humour in this game is fucking great.
Yeah, so I do like the Church Consequence stuff is just one side of it, but I think the writing as a whole in this is really, really well done. I think it does harken back to kind of New Vegas was also very well written at times and very funny. And I think this is no different. I think all the characters, I think, is also really well voice acted and well acted. I think that just adds to the how well and how funny it can be at times. Like, the guy you smoosh is called Alex Hawthorne, and the game at every opportunity gives you the option to keep pretending to be him to everyone you meet, regardless of how they're like, you're not him, I know who Alex Hawthorne is, and you can just be like, yeah, no, I'm totally Alex Hawthorne.
So here's what Nick talked about. So here we've got a situation has arose, Nick. So we are now considering, what are we going to do? Are we going to side with the deserters or side with Edgewater? And Parvati is trying to voice her opinion.
Power. I think it would be cruel.
So
I'm sorry. That just sort of came
like it's kind of like it is cool because at the end of the day, you do originally
We've been losing workers
before this kind of conversation happens, you automatically just kind of go like, yeah, corporation sucks because that guy's a douche. The deserters seem pretty okay.
But the town
So
good people in it. Decent.
yeah, so for this one, just for the sake of this, I'm going to go with the
They don't deserve to be punished.
I'm going to go with Edgewater.
That sure sounds like Mr. Thompson. If he was standing here, I imagine he'd remind us of how we're all one big, happy Spacer's Choice family. In Mr. Thompson's eyes, those deserters are still part of the Spacer's Choice family.
Yes,
It's not the best
Family must
choice.
work together in order to
Spacer's
survive.
choice.
I
I
have to say,
appreciate all the
Mr.
like
Thompson's got a point.
dumb corporate stuff in this
Unless the
game.
deserters come back,
I love. Did you know there's no music in this world?
cutting
Apparently,
off
the
the
only
power
music
of
that is
the
still alive is corporate jingles.
Nice.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Let's do it. So, is there a way she might leave?
No, from what I know, Alex obviously did this, and I don't think I don't think she can. I don't think you can get rid of any. Like, I don't think your actions can affect any of your followers.
Companions,
Thanks.
I think.
No one's ever.
I don't know if
told
it's
me
just because of the
once.
order he did it, but Alex, obviously the vicar in the town you can recruit.
Yes, got him. Yeah.
But Alex, I don't think he finished the quest before he decided to give the power to the deserters, and obviously the vicar was one of the people that he had to kill when he went back to the town.
Oh dear. Yeah, so say for this play, my last playthrough I put it to the Botanical Laboratories as deserters, so for this one we'll go for Edgewater. So that's all happening. Done and dusted. Sweet, so now we shall go out, back to the world, and do this jazz. Where's the exit? This is not the right. Nope, covered. Whee! Let's get the fuck out of here. Convince the deserters to return. Oh, so I never got this. So because
Yes.
I didn't get a chance. There was no option for me to get the Edgewater guys to join the deserters. So this could be quite cool.
No, yeah. So essentially, this kind of leads on to obviously the quest.
I never turned that off. I was really dumb.
You can pick up quests from some of the people at the deserters camp, and completing their quests will essentially allow you to. Why are you even bothered? You can just walk out anyway. So essentially, this kind of lets you essentially trying to convince them to come back to the town rather than dying with the leader of the deserters.
And does she stay? Or
Yes, she will stay regardless.
Does she try to kill you?
No.
I thought she would. Oh, it's a volcano. I never knew this. I do like the design of the world so far. So I've only really been on 3. Technically 2 different parts of this world, and then one of the other ones, which is the Earth Mover? Groundbreaker. So they seem quite unique in some extent. So I'll say, like I said, I've been on 2 different settlements on this world, so the habitats are all quite, similar looking.
Yeah.
But the Groundbreaker is completely different. It has a completely different feel of being, boxed in, claustrophobic. Because that's what it is.
But yeah, it is like essentially a space market hub ship.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the design of the game.
That's not creepy at all.
I love like the pseudo steampunky type like world.
Hi. The red isn't on. Oh, I didn't do that. She did
That's
that.
the thing about growing old. Your eyes start to fail.
Ooh.
Elsewise, I would have seen you for this.
She
chopped
mad.
you into
That's
pieces
sure.
and roasted you
That's
on
not.
What? Is that not what you
This is
meant?
all
No.
you're doing. Cutting off my power, killing off my garden. Without refrigeration, my
So
food
she's
will
feeding
spoil, and
the-
my flock
I don't
will
think she's
starve.
feeding the people. No, I think she's like feeding marauders and stuff
Away
to
from
them.
the eyes of
to the
my
plants.
flock, so they do not see me lose my temper. Tell me, why did you do it?
I don't know your explanation. Fuck you.
You want my flock wasting their lives in that cannery? Fine.
It's okay, though, because I'm very high persuade.
Go
There
talk
we
to
go.
Grace
So I'm very
and
charismatic, so I should
Thomas.
hopefully be able to
Look
pass
them
any
in the
checks.
eye and tell them
No,
their
I
life
don't know if
here
there is a
is
check. I
over,
think it
and
actually
the
needs
only
you
thing
to.
left
Like,
to
I
do
think
is
the
go
way
back
you
to
do it is you do the
Edgewater.
quest for them.
This is now
Because
your
they both give you a quest that, like, Grace wants you to go
You
find
tell
some
Reed
woman who
Thompson that
has
I
decided to go
will
join the
never
Marauders,
return
and
to Edgewater. I would
Thomas
rather die
dying is
among
looking
my
for engineering
flowers than
manuals.
wander
I got
his
them, well, I
management.
didn't get them, but... Be unreasonable.
My son worked in that cannery. When the plague started coming, he
She clearly
was
she's
the
gone
first to
mental
fall
with the
sick.
death of her son.
Yeah.
We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't deserve treatment. Said the medicine would have been wasted on him.
So obviously as well, because it's an RPG, there's the likes of perks and stuff, and obviously different equipment. The equipment to me,
That's as much of the story as you need to hear.
there's some of it's kind of cool and quirky.
As
Like,
long
shrink
as
rate
Reed
quite
Yeah, like
common.
the science weapons you can get are
I
pretty
will
cool.
not
Everything
return.
else though kind of
Those
is
are
not
my terms.
great.
Yeah.
So we'll go through some of the stuff here. So like that's like the toss ball blocker spacer's choice. That's quite cool. Like the shotguns in this are all right. The laser weapons are all good. So like there's a wee bit of strategy. Obviously, like you want to use energy weapons and electric weapons on the likes of robots and regular weapons on humans and stuff like that. That's all well and good. The armor and stuff is what it is. This is the weird bit to me. Is I take it you just load these into your gas
Yep.
thing, and then you get the perks from them.
Yep.
And then you get more. As your medical increases, you
Yep.
unlock more slots.
Mhm.
To me, though, I have not used any of this.
No,
I have
neither
just
have
used
I.
the regular
Yeah.
one. It seems
Like that's I'm sure
unnecessary.
but I would say the same thing about like the drugs you would get in Fallout, the Fallout series. Like I very rarely used them, and it was they were more needed if you are playing like the higher difficulties and you're like you need to prepare for each like combat encounter as you go into it.
yeah. The only ones you really use would be like some mentats and
Yeah.
stuff like that for your lockpick and your all
Yeah.
that shite. And then so we'll go to the skills and perks. So as I say, it's an RPG, so there's your skills. As you get more points, you can put them in, and then your perks and stuff. So, they have a bloody mess sort of perk. Awesome, love that. So yeah, like I say, like it is what it is. It is a relatively. I don't know. I've never seen this game before. Cool. Yeah. But then so you've obviously got. These are your iconoclasts. Are they the?
They're on Monarch.
Okay.
It's not showing you all of them, even the ones you haven't met yet.
But yeah, so that is pretty much. That is just let's be honest, a very small snippet of what the game is. Okay, so we're going to cut ahead a wee bit now, and then show more, and then I'll give my opinions. Nick will give his opinions over some more gameplay footage. Okay.
Okay.
That was gameplay footage of the Outer Worlds. Nick, do you have a question to ask me?
This doesn't play in an audio show.
No, it doesn't.
Hans, if I was on the fence about the Outer Worlds, what would you say to me?
I would say this is a very, very solid game. The gameplay or the gunplay and stuff is adequate. Really good emphasis on kind of the RPG elements of skill passes and the dialogue. Dialogue's well written, the story's well written, the characters are well written and complex. It does though feel like Fallout Light, which is good and bad. Like, it's cut a lot of the guff from Fallout, which is good, but it also doesn't feel as fleshed out as Fallout in some ways.
What I wouldn't do for a Wentworth.
Yeah, I just get a big vibe off of this of it's not as good as everyone said it was. Because this was getting like 9s and 10s across all the different formats and stuff. It's still good. It is still good. It's still worth the 50 quid. But I see issues with it. Like, I want to see more consequences from my actions. So, like Parvati leaving, possibly, because I fucked over Edgewater, or like the cannery people revolting and all this stuff. I want to see that sort of thing.
Grace is going to be glaring.
Yeah, I think overall it's still good, but I think I just wish there was a wee bit more. Nick, you have also played this. So, Nick, if I was on the fence about Outer Worlds, what would you say to me?
I think Outer Worlds is a very good game. My main issue with it comes from I have no desire to keep playing it for whatever reason. I think the writing is incredibly well done. I think the gameplay is very good. I think the shooting and all feels really nice. But my main issue comes from I feel like there's no massive hook. And I feel like, part and parcel of that is I am making all these choices and they never feel like they're massively paying off in the grand scheme of things. It's just a case of before this I mentioned I don't think I've played this in like a week and I've no itch to get back to it really in any short form. It's a very good game, but it does have its downfalls, and I think if you're into the newer style Fallout games, this is a very good one of those, and it's a good alternative that doesn't rely on the kind of the Fallout tropes. But I don't think this is going to convince anyone who isn't looking for that sort of itch to be scratched.
Good question for you, just because I know you're not a big fan of Fallout 4. Fallout 4 or this?
Oh, I think this, definitely.
A Fallout 3 or this?
Probably Fallout 3.
Fallout Vegas or this?
Definitely Vegas.
Yeah. Because these are kind of the ones that you really are going to compare them to, let's be honest. Yeah, I think, you as well, I think the world as well is one of those things, the Fallout world is very unique. It's got it's obviously gotten that futuristic sci-fi set mixed with the 1950s. This, to me, just kind of feels like space. There's no uniqueness to it.
Yeah.
But yes, no, overall, I'll say, those are our opinions, Nick, on the Outer Worlds, currently available on PC, only on the Epic Game Store.
Or Game Pass, also on Xbox Game Pass.
Or Xbox Game Pass. PS4 and Xbox, not on the Switch.
Coming to Switch. It is announced that it is coming to Switch, it just doesn't have a date yet.
All for the
Don't you talk down to me, Phantom.
It was a low price. The usual price of $49.99. Thank you very much for joining me today, Nick.
Dab.